Hi guys, welcome to the Restorative Yoga Flow. So this type of yoga is a little bit different than a vinyasa flow or like a workout flow. This is going to just be holding deep stretches. So the idea behind Yin Yoga is to basically let your breath dictate where you go. So instead of pulling yourself into a stretch or forcing it, you're going to just allow the muscles to relax with your exhales. Okay, so just know that going into it, we'll be holding poses for a long time. There's a few props that you might want to have. If you have yoga blocks, I would highly recommend grabbing those. If not, these are a quick, easy find on either Amazon Prime or Target. So for in the future, if you want to grab some, you'll have that. If you don't have any, that's okay. I have some options, throw pillow or maybe a couch pillow, because we will need those props. You can even use a blanket or a towel, rolling it up and giving yourself a little support that way. So take a moment, grab what you need, and then come back to your mat. We'll go ahead and get started. All right, so when you are ready, just find a comfortable seat on your mat. And for this, if you'd like to sit on anything, if this irritates the back, you can always fold up a blanket or a towel and just put it right at the base of your tailbone. So right at the edge of the glutes, and then just sit back on it. We'll take a couple deep breaths where we inhale the shoulder, exhale them down the back. Just go ahead and close your eyes. Do that 3 to 4 times. Inhaling up, exhaling back, and with each breath, try to get a little bit deeper, a little bit bigger in your circles. And then relax the shoulders down. Now take it into big neck circles, just breathing deeply here. As you breathe into your belly, imagine that you are expanding a balloon. And then as you exhale, just get about 3 big, slow circles each direction with the neck. And then gently coming back through neutral. Still keeping the eyes closed. If you need to peek at the camera, go ahead. But plant your left hand down. As you plant the left hand down, you're going to reach up with the right arm. Open up through the chest first. And if that's enough of a stretch, just stay here. If not, go ahead and bend into that left elbow and start to reach up and over with that right arm. Take 3 really deep breaths here, expanding through the rib cage on your right side especially. And then on your down, same thing here. We're going to reach up with our left arm, open through the chest first. Stay here if that's enough, or start to bend into that right elbow and open up just a little bit more, bringing that left bicep closer to the left ear. Take 3 deep breaths here, expanding through your left rib cage. And then on your next inhale, bring it back through center. You guys might see an appearance from my little dog, Gracie, in a moment. All right. So we're going to take it into hands and knees, tabletop, Gracie. Come on. Hands and knees, tabletop. So for this, you want to stack your hips right on top of the knees. Spread the fingers really wide. Shoulders are going to be right over the wrist. And then we're just going to start to move through cat-cow. Exhaling as you round your spine up. Inhaling as you drop the belly down. Just close the eyes and move as slow as you can with the breath. Let your breath dictate where you go. If it feels okay within the body, you can start to get a little bit deeper with each stretch, with each cat-cow. Last one. And then bring child's pose. So for this, we're going to stay here a little bit longer than a normal stretch. So options are, you can grab your pillow and put it right here. I'm going to use a block. So depending on where your mobility is, you can have it a little bit higher. This is going to be to rest your forehead. So take the knees about as wide as your mat. If you have any low back pain, if you are expecting, if there's any reason that this is really irritating to your back, just move the knees in and keep the knees in together. Otherwise, take them out wide. Push the hips down towards the feet first. And then I'm just going to slowly walk myself out. And again, with this yin yoga, you're not trying to go as deeply as you can into the stretch or force it. You just want to come out of it just a little bit and then start to breathe a little bit deeper. Think about this like an active meditation. As you exhale, you're just finding another place within the body to soften. If there's anything that feels uncomfortable right now, just go ahead and change it. Breathe a little bit deeper. And while we're here in these longer poses, you might notice that your mind starts to wander a little bit more as your body slows down. And that's totally fine. It's totally normal. But just start to notice. Notice what tone of voice your thoughts have. Is it positive or is it negative? Maybe indifferent. Use this opportunity with your breath to start to become the observer of your thoughts, of your body. Just notice what's going on. Keep breathing. See if you can soften just a little bit more somewhere within the body. Our hips tend to hold a lot of emotion. And so when you intentionally exhale to release, especially in these hip stretches, you might even feel some emotion come up, either right now or shortly after this flow. And just notice it without judgment if that is the case. Allow yourself to release it. Part of yoga is allowing you to tap deeper within the body and release any stagnant energy, any thoughts, any memories that are no longer serving you. Last couple deep breaths here. All right, start to slowly press yourself up. The other thing to keep in mind with these longer holds and stretches is that since you are there for a while, you want to make sure that you don't come out of it too quickly because you probably are getting. I'm going to start facing you guys right side. So my right hip is down. I'm just going to comfortably cross my legs, and then I'm going to bring my chest down to the mat. So we're getting into a twist, and it can be as deep or as mild as you would like. If you want a little assistance, put the block or a pillow here, and don't look all the way around. You're going to take the right arm outside the right side of the mat and just lay that right side of your chest down and stop here. If you would like to go a little deeper, then you can remove the block or the prop and you can twist all the way over, looking to your right. Once you get here, relax. See if you can relax a little more tension within the face and the shoulders. Check in with your breath. Make sure you can still breathe deeply. Still here. And then we're going to move to the other side. I think my dog Gracie got so relaxed that she went to sleep. All right, so now on your left side, left hip, same options here. You can take yourself all the way down, keeping your head facing the same direction as your knees, but you're going to have that left arm outside of the mat. So you're opening up through the shoulder, the same stretch that we usually do on the wall. Or you can go into that full twist, looking back over the left hand, just resting your head on the mat. You can take any variation or modification here. If this is irritating at all, I'll show you guys another version. Laying yourself onto a pillow can make this a little bit more comfortable. And then we're going to slowly press ourselves up. Now coming into a mild hip opener. So a couple things you can do here. I would suggest some props, so feel free to pause this if you need to. If you have your yoga blocks, I'd put one on the feet and then one maybe upright on top of that. And this is that same stretch that we usually do after the workout and the cool down. But we're going to go a little less deep into it. So taking the feet away from the body just a little bit, letting your knees just fall wherever they are. And then I'm going to rest my head down and my arms out. So I'm not forcing this. I'm just allowing it to settle. The other thing you could do is you could put a couple books on your feet. You could grab some pillows and just relax. Check in with your breath. Make sure that you are still breathing deeply wherever you're uncomfortable in one of these poses, just adjust it and start back. Start to deepen your breath and just slowly roll yourself back up. Take a couple of big shoulder shrugs here. Inhaling the shoulders up, exhaling them down. Now we're going to move into a chest opener, heart opener. This is really good. This is good for a lot of things. Energetically, it makes you more open, open to receiving, open to connecting with people. And physically, it really helps fight what gravity does to us every day, which is pulling us down and forward. So think about all the time you spend on your computer, on a phone, driving, you're pulling, the shoulders are being pulled forward. So this is going to open it up. If you have blocks, you're going to make a T shape with your blocks, but give yourself a little bit of space between the two. And that's how I'm going to do it. And also, I lost my other pillow. I'm going to show you just what you could do with a pillow as well. So you could stack these pillows. The more narrow the pillow is, the better. So this one wouldn't be quite as high as what I would want, but it's still a good start. So basic, and I want my head supported as well. So I have another pillow behind me. You can have your legs crossed. You can have them a little less intense would be to bend at the knee, feet flat, or you can even have your legs out straight. So with my head supported, I would have my arms down by my side, my hands facing the ceiling. And then I just want to make sure that my shoulders are coming off whatever's supporting it. So that's why it's better to have a narrow pillow or put a pillow down and roll up a towel and just put that along the spine as you're laying back on it. If you have a foam roller, this is also a great place for a foam roller. For you evening folks, you probably see me do this stretch with the foam roller, but I'm just looking for the opening in the shoulders and the chest. So I'm going to go ahead and switch mine out to the blocks. This version is a little bit more intense, so just be careful as you're getting back into it. You're going to scoot back to the block, so it's a little lower than midway down your back. You might adjust to where it's about in the middle. And I'm going to lie back, and then I'm going to just adjust that top block so my head is completely supported. And then I'm going to let my arms fall down by the sides, my shoulders open up, so you're going to start to feel the weight of your shoulders relax. If you're familiar or have ever used a mantra, Now is a good time to think of either the word surrender or the mantra I surrender. And this just allows the mind and the body to let go of any tension, any stressful thoughts, anything that is not serving you anymore. As you exhale, give yourself the opportunity to just release. We're going to start to slowly ease your hands, squeeze and engage through your core as you sit yourself back up. And when you get back to a seated position, just take a couple more shoulder shrugs, inhaling them up and exhaling them down. All right, so we are going to move to pigeon. So if you feel like pigeon is just a little bit too intense right now, you can take the option to do figure 4 on your back, which would be one foot planted. You're going to cross the other ankle over, reach through. So you're grabbing the back of the thigh, pressing your tailbone down to the mat, and then just pulling slightly on that leg that you're grabbing onto. So that is one version. I'm going to go ahead and do full pigeon. So if you'd like to join me there, we'll start on the right side. I'm going to go through down dog first and just take a couple of breaths to pedal it out. And then inhaling that right leg up tall behind you. Exhale as slow as you can. Get a little bit of core work in. Just slowly bringing the right knee up to the right wrist and then swinging it out so your right knee is outside of the right wrist. So if you need a prop, if your right hip is way off the ground, I know I've probably said this in class too before in the cool down, when you're only holding pigeon for 30 seconds to 60 seconds, it's not as big a deal. But because we're doing yin yoga, we are going to be here longer. So that's where I would want to, if you can see, slide a block or a pillow or maybe just a little towel or something under that right hip, because I don't want to push myself as deeply into the stretch as I could possibly do. I want my breath to dictate where it goes. So if you need anything at all, get as comfortable as possible. You can even have a pillow right there for the forehead. So just find that spot and go ahead and take it down and breathe. Once you're there, use your breath, your exhales, to sink into the mat a little bit deeper, to surrender your weight down to the floor. You're going to start to slowly come back up. So pressing your weight into your hands and just holding it here. If this is not too intense on the left hip flexor, you can use this as a left hip. So if you're starting to open the shoulders more, just squeeze the belly button back in towards the, and then relax the shoulders down, back, squeeze your shoulder blades together. You don't have to keep your eyes closed during a flow like this. I like to just because it helps me tap into my body a little bit better and to just kind of shut out the distractions around me. And then that way you're able to tap into the breath just a little bit more. So now I'm going to tuck the left toes. I'm going to press up into to get slowly back into down dog. And you might feel a little bit tight here, so just walk it out with the feet. You take the hips side to side. And then as you're ready, we're going to inhale the left leg up high and as slow as you can, like you're moving through honey. Just bring that left knee up towards the left wrist and then outside of the left wrist. And same thing goes on this side. If you need a prop of any kind, you have a better angle here, you can still prop yourself. Otherwise, go ahead and take it all the way down, straighten out that right leg. You can have the pillow or a block or anything you want right here for the head. Once you get there, just exhale, soften. Of your body down to your yoga mat. Taking your attention, your awareness to your breath. As I get a little bit sidetracked or distracted with my thoughts, I like to bring it back to my body by just checking into different areas. So maybe check into my hands, see if they're relaxed, and then my feet. And you can start feeling into the hips where we're getting this intense stretch. And just imagine that everything you're inhaling is going right there, creating a little bit more space. start to slowly press your way back up and just holding this position with hands firmly planted into the mat, dropping your right hip flexor down, pulling the belly button towards the spine. And then if that's too much, you can always just come forward a little bit. But the deeper you want to go, you can start to open up the chest and the shoulders. I'm feeling this a lot into my right hip, that inner hip flexor, psoas. And then I'm going to plant my hands again. Start to swing that left foot around. Come up through down dog one more time and just walk it out. We're going to roll forward, just flip it all the way over, take a seat. So our Shavasana, we're going to end on what's called Supta Baddha Konasana. So this is same way on your back. And I highly suggest, especially if your hips are pretty tight, grabbing some modifications here. So you can have, if you have the blocks or books, even towel, pillow, whatever it is, just support yourself by putting them right under the hip. You can have your head down, or you can have it propped. I wouldn't have a really high pillow, just something low if you do that. If your hips are pretty open, you can just forego that altogether. So using nothing. I'm going to use a little support today. I'm not going to use a pillow for my head. I'm going to just lie back. And then, so you're getting the chest opener too. I want you to cactus your arms into a 90-degree position, lying your forearms back on the ground. And just start to wiggle your shoulder blades together just a little bit. And that's going to create a sense of opening through the chest. And this is going to be our final resting pose. So take 2 really deep, slow inhales. Hold your breath at the top. And then even slower, exhaling it out. And then hold your breath at the bottom there. Notice that stillness, that quiet and calm. And then do that one more time. See if you can sip in just a little bit more air at the top of this breath as you hold. As you exhale everybody, relax everybody, your body, every muscle, your chest, your hands. Start to slowly deepen the breath and wiggle the fingers and the toes, bringing some subtle and gentle movements back within the body. Make full wrist circles. And then take your hands outside of the knees and thighs and just slowly close your knees like a book. And we'll rock off to one side. So just holding it here, just a couple breaths. And then gently push yourself back up into a seat. And just find a comfortable seat, legs crossed. When you get here, place the hands on the knees, close your eyes. Take a really deep breath in and a big exhale out. Bring the hands together at the heart center, thumbs to the chest, the eyes closed, slightly bowing the head. I'm going to leave you with one of my favorite quotes. I think it's very timely for what we're dealing with right now. Courage is not the lack of fear. Courage is fear walking. Take a deep breath in and exhale. Know that you are more powerful than your wildest dreams. You have the ability to choose your thoughts, choose your actions, and choose how you see life, how you experience life. I hope today's practice has brought you a sense of peace and relaxation. Thank you for joining. Namaste.